Welcome back to Our Projects. Today we got kind of a fun one, at least I think it's going to be a fun one. A real beauty. Got this gas Yamaha golf cart I picked up at auction for more than I wanted to spend, but pretty cheap for as far as these golf carts go. But that's about all I know about it, so let's start walking around and see what we actually got. So it's pretty rough around the edges. Definitely been sitting outside for a while, although I was thinking the fiberglass frame was pretty messed up, weathering wise, but it looks like maybe it was waxed or something, and I think if we clean it up okay, it might actually shine back up to its former glory. I don't know the year, I don't know the model, I basically know nothing about it, except that it's missing 2 wheels, and that it's been sitting forever. So let's get the seat out of the way. It's fallen apart into its parts. So that's junk, obviously. You see the engine is still in there. So let me pop the cover up. It took me a second to figure that out. So it looks like a gear shift this here, and I think it's a CVT transmission, so it's just forward and reverse. I think we have a choke here, and then actually it came with the key, so that's pretty cool. I've been kind of looking for one of these for a while just because I think it'd be handy for tooling around the property. Thing's got a little hood latch, kind of like a car. Though obviously I'm not smart enough to actually use it. So far, at first glance, it looks really complete. I don't think there's anything missing. Got a battery in here. I wonder if there's a date on it. I don't see a date. What are the odds this thing's gonna come back? Probably not very good, but that is a score because it's worth like $5 or whatever if you give it to O'Reilly. I'll throw it on the charger though. Maybe we'll get lucky and it might come back. So there's the CVT. Belt looks like it's there still. Doesn't feel super dry rotted. Let's see if the engine turns. Oh yeah. It's even got compression. Alright. No weird noises rocking it back and forth. That's a good sign. Looks like we just got a little 1-cylinder here. Carburetor's nice and easy to access, because I'm sure we're going to need to go through that. Also looks like we got one of these little vacuum fuel pumps. I'm guessing the diaphragm's shot in that, but who knows. Don't see the dipstick. Might be this thing. 1030 oil. 1 quart. Does this thing turn into a dipstick? Nope, just a fill. No. Dummy. You guys are probably yelling at me. There it is. Yep, it's black. It's up to full. It just smells like oil. Nothing too concerning. Yeah, right up to level. So like I said, I know nothing about this. I think it was in a state auction, I'm guessing. The guy had a little bit of property. He lived near a golf course. I think he had a few of these. So who knows? Maybe this thing sat over winter, wouldn't start up, and he put it out to pasture. But let's get a good battery in here and I guess see if it'll crank over, how it sounds. 2 terminals are different sizes. It's kind of weird. So kind of my long-term plan for this thing is to get it running, obviously. And then I'd like to convert the back, which I think right now is like a little seating arrangement for 2 people. I'd like to put a bed on it, maybe like a dump bed. So I might look into fabricating something like that. We'll have to remember that is the negative. It should be pretty obvious, but... Alright, looks like we've got the nut seized on there. Let's just leave that for now. We'll deal with that later. Hold down's loose. So I'm guessing somewhere in here we could find a serial number. I think this is one of the early G golf carts. I know basically nothing about these, but I think it's like a G1 or a G9 or something like that. I'm guessing 90s, early mid 90s. I could be wrong. Alright, let's look up a jump pack and see what kind of damage we can do. Alright, let's flip the key on. Okay. Looks like the key's just a switch. I don't know where the starter button is. See, the carb's a little sticky. Work through a little bit. You know, maybe before we start it, we should take a quick look in our airbox just to see if we have any nasty surprises hiding. I don't see anything crazy. Let's take the boot off of the carb. But it actually looks fine. The foam's deteriorated like they all do, but the paper element looks good. Carb's a little sooty on the inside, but nothing too crazy. So now I'm gonna figure out how we start this thing, or turn it over, I should say. Maybe there's a interlock with a park brake or something. We do have a light over here. I think you can see it. Got a light over here. So whatever that means. Do something not hooked up here. Looks like there's a neutral safety switch, maybe. Double check that it's in neutral. Oh no, that's like a, I think that tells the engine that it's in reverse. I hear it actuating. Looks like our starter solenoid's over here. Got a really beefy starter for what it is. Follow that lead. Just goes to a rat's nest. I'm just jumping the solenoid by hand. Not doing a whole lot. It is turning over though. Might have crappy battery connection. In fact, I would say that that's the culprit. Let's give these a quick wire brush. Nice clean copper showing. That now. Another try. Here we go. Well, that's a good sign it's making compression. But we obviously have some issues with the amount of current we're able to pass through our wires. Let's try throwing a bigger battery on it other than the jump pack. Yeah, let's see how that does. Alright, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Let's see if we got spark going. The key is on, I think. So I would think we have spark, even though we're bypassing the starter, wherever you started from, because obviously I'm too stupid to figure that out. Okay, shove another screwdriver in here. And something metal. Valve cover should do it. Oh yeah, we got great spark. We'll see, this may be an easy one, although kind of famous last words there. Alright, I guess let's shove some gas down her throat and see what she does. Oh yeah. Might have given her a little bit much. Why are you making that noise? Ooh, it's got strong compression. Why is it not firing anymore? Make sure it chokes off. Chokes off. Key's still on? Key's on? Might have flooded it. Alright, let's pop the plug out and see what we're dealing with. Ooh, there's some crud packed down in there. Alright, let's make sure we're real nice and clean down there before we pop this plug out. Looks like there's some mouse remnants, so we may want to pop some of these tins off and make sure the cooling fins aren't all packed up with garbage, otherwise we'll overheat it. Oh yeah, the fins are definitely seen better days. Not bigger side, 9/16. I mean, when it popped off there, it seemed to. Oh, the plug's loose, which it should still run with that, but we'll see. I'm guessing the plug's just fouled up with gas because I probably gave her a little too much. It's been a while since this thing got a plug. It's a little crusty. Might be a little bit of an oil burner, but I'll clean this off and I bet you we'll have better luck. Alright, I got the plug cleaned up. It's probably going to need a new one still. But I also figured as a matter of course, I doubt it's pumping any fuel, but we should probably disconnect our fuel supply to the carb. It does have the gas cap and everything still on there, so I'm hoping the gas tank's all good. It is plastic, so hopefully that held up okay. Oh yeah, nice crunchy fuel line. Come on. Off you go. Yeah, dry as a bone. Let's test our plug. Just make sure the spark's jumping where it's supposed to be. Yeah, looks okay. Although I did notice, it kind of looks like our spark goes away when I let off. Yep, that's what's happening. So I wonder, do we have the key in the off position right now? Possibly. Okay, so that's a clue. I'm guessing there is a safety interlock somewhere that we need to take care of, because, let me show you. I just have the solenoid connection. It was barely touching, and when I put power to that terminal, which engages the solenoid and turns the engine over, there's spark, but as soon as I take the screwdriver off, spark goes away. So what's happening is it's back feeding into the ignition circuit and giving a spark while we're cranking, but as soon as I let off, it dies, which makes sense why it didn't want to run by itself. I'm sure once we get spark constant, it'll take right off. So let me look around a little bit and see if there's a safety somewhere. Okay, so I did make a discovery. Found the serial number, J55 and then so on. So looking that up online, it's a G2. I wasn't able to find much beyond that. I'm thinking it's an 89 or maybe an early 90s, kind of like what I thought. I also stopped being an idiot and I looked on the steering wheel where Yamaha tells you how to start it. It says select forward or reverse before turning the switch on, and then it starts automatically when you press the accelerator pedal. So I guess that kind of makes sense because when you're golfing, you're moving around a bunch, and then it says when you press the brake pedal, it turns off automatically. So that makes sense because you're not going to usually be traveling very far and you want it to be able to turn on and off pretty quick. So let's try that. Let's select forward, and that would be why there's a switch, I'm guessing, on the gear select. Turn a key on and press the accelerator. Nothing. Let's turn the key on the other way. Nothing. Okay. Try turning the gear select the other way. Nope. Not happening. Okay, well, let's look on the inside while I move the gear select. So yeah, there's the
switch getting depressed. But it's only on one side, which is kind of interesting. Which side is that? Looks like that's reverse. I don't know, maybe I'm just not pressing the pedal enough. Make sure we got good contact down here. Cable's sticky. Wonder if there's safety interlock on here somewhere. Can't start it if this is open. I'm guessing that's on, right? After tracing around a little bit, I think I found our problem, or at least one of them. We weren't getting any power at the key, and I also looked around a little bit through the manual on this thing, and that light up there is a low oil warning. It should turn on with the key partially on, which doesn't happen. So given that we have no power at the key, I figured that we're not getting power to the main electrical circuit. There's two main fuses over there. They're just 10 amp glass fuses in those little holders. They're fine. So I just started from the battery terminal and came over here. It connects directly to the starter solenoid, but there's also a smaller piece that goes off to this. They were connected, I touched them and they just came apart, so I'm guessing they're just utterly corroded. So I'm thinking that's what feeds the rest of the cart. So if we cut that and splice them, I'm guessing this was a fusible link, but we'll just, you know, live a little loose, splice them together, and I think maybe, well, we'll be a step closer at least. Alright, so just as a quick test, I think we're just gonna cut these wires and we'll jump around with a little alligator clip. To fix this, we're gonna have to unbolt some stuff, but that's not a huge deal. This might just be a splice, can't tell. Got the battery disconnection, of course. I'm just gonna peel a little bit of the insulation back, hopefully. Alligator clip. Reconnect the battery and see what happens. There you are. Okay. Still no light. And no crank. So, obviously we've got other issues. Let's see what we got going on with the test light. So we do have power. Oh, no way. Alright, apparently this alligator clip is no good. Let me hook this up and we'll see. Yeah, look at that. Hopefully you can see that. Light does not turn on if I use it for the ground, so that's pretty cool. Glad I have that one kicking around. Okay, I'll test this one before. Hook it up to ground, hopefully it lights up. What the heck? That's bizarre. So weird. Another one? No way. I gotta be going crazy. Alright. this one doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just give up. Okay, that is so weird. Twice in a row I grabbed ones that are broken, which I didn't even know were broken. Whatever, Murphy's Law, right? Okay, hook these up. Okay, move you guys so you can see. Got the key partially engaged, low oil lights on, key all the way on, light turns off. Move you guys back. Alright, let me put my foot on her and see what she does. Oh yeah. Check for spark. So I think the engine only runs with your foot on the accelerator, which is kind of weird. I guess that's a common thing for these, but I don't know. May end up bypassing that just because it seems like it's not going to be very well. I don't know. We'll see how it does. It wouldn't be hard to bypass. You just need to put a little toggle switch or something to turn the ignition on, and then you can just use that as a kill switch. But we'll see how this does. And I think this uses a starter generator. And I think if it was a normal starter, that probably wouldn't work very well because the starter would just be constantly engaged. But since it's the generator, there's no Bendix going into the flywheel, so you don't have an issue there. At least, I'm guessing so. Oh boy, smoking out the garage, but hey, it seems to run pretty good. Definitely kind of weird how you gotta keep your foot basically on the starter switch to keep it running. Kind of funky, so it doesn't idle. Really the only thing that we're gonna need to do, well, the next thing we need to do is pop the carb off. We could try running it as is, but let's be honest, it's probably not great. So let's pop it off, pop the bowl out, and see what we're working with. Alright, so we got a bunch of cables and linkages to undo. First up is throttle linkage. So we got this little E-clip here. Pop that off. Probably go flying, we'll never see it again. No, there it goes. And this should do the slide forward. Maybe. Boot's torn, obviously. There we go. Then we just got a little cotter pin here. Holding the cable onto the linkage. There we go. Now for the choke. Should be pretty much the same thing. It's got a cable clamp. There we go. I think that's everything holding it on other than mounting nuts. Guessing they're just 10 millimeters. Yep. Okay. Man, this thing's really caked with mud. Dust. So one thing we probably will need to do sooner or later is replace this B-belt, and it's cracking. And who knows, the CVT belt may be having the same fate. Alright, there we go. I will dust it off and bring it over to the bench. Right, let's pop the bowl and see what kind of nastiness is under there. Hopefully nothing too crazy. Trying not to rip the gasket. Of course, that didn't work. Oh, I got a spider living in there. Along with some other junk. Dried up. Old dried up gasoline and cobwebs. But not that dirty. See the needles moving? And it does, I can't blow air through it upside down, so should be good there. Look through our jets and see if there's anything crazy. This jet right here looks clear, you can see light through it. So here's an oxyacetylene torch cleaner. I like to use these for carb jets because you can see they're just stiff but really thin, so they're pretty much perfect for cleaning jets out. Obviously you don't want to ream out the jets at all, but you can at least make sure they're clear. That main jet looks good. Honestly, we may not even really need to touch this thing. We could pull out this adjustment, which I'm guessing is the idle adjustment. Actually, this doesn't have an idle, so that's probably the main jet adjustment or something like that. Who knows, but without digging into it. But it's so clean inside, I think we're probably going to be good to just close it back up. Only hang up is the bowl gasket, which is really just a rubber, like O-ring kind of thing. Totally disintegrated, so I'm gonna have to do some digging through the hoarding pile and see what it got. Yeah, you can see just how brittle this is. Pretty nasty. Doesn't help that I'm dropping a bunch of dust in there. It's kind of weird how it clings to it. It's almost like, like nasty oil grease buildup on cars that are grease balls. Kind of similar to that, but it's not greasy. But it's clinging pretty well, as if it was all oily. Well, I don't think I have the right seal in the stash, unfortunately. What I do have, though, is an assortment of O-rings, which are not the right seal because this takes a square type. But maybe it'll seal up good enough, and I don't really want to have to deal with tracking down a bowl seal right now for this. So we'll see if we got anything that'll work. Although these are too thick, now I'm looking at it. Need a thin O-ring. Dang. Should have just left it, I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be too thick. Alright, do some more digging. Well, I have this O-ring, which is the right width. It's obviously too big though, but maybe we could try making it work if we cut it and, kind of re-glue it. Let's try it. What the heck? So I just snipped it right there. Kind of feed it through into the groove. This is even a little thick, but you can see it fits in there. It should seal up fine. I mean, we'll see, but that's the goal. Cut this a little longer than it needs to be. So there you go, you can hardly tell there's a split there. I'm just going to throw a little bit of sealant. It would probably seal up okay as it is, honestly. But we may get a little bit of weeping out that split. So I'm going to throw a bit of RTVs, not really gas resistant, but we'll give the RTV a go and see how it does. Second thought, let's go old school and actually just give super glue a try. Gluing O-rings is actually a you know, a legitimate way to make an O-ring, especially for oddball sizes and stuff. So just clean the ends, give her a little dab. Whoop. And hold it together. Oh, I didn't quite get a square cut on the one end, that's probably why. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, well, not great. Pretty good, actually. Okay. There we go. We have an O-ring, kind of. So, push that back down into its bore. Okay. Got a little bit of crustiness in the bowl, so I'll clean that out real quick. Get some lacquer thinner, carb cleaner. That ought to be good enough. Hopefully it's not coming back off, but we'll see. And I'm sure that this will give us good enough seal. At least I hope it will. Get it tightened down. Get that back on, and the next thing, which the condition of that O-ring doesn't bode well for this, but the fuel pump, which is vacuum driven, has a diaphragm. Hopefully it's not too dried out. So we just need to check if the fuel pump works. If it does, then we're golden. If not, we got to rebuild it. So let's get this set back on. Make sure the mating surface is clean. The gasket's still on there. Just won't even touch that. Which actually I'm seeing now kind of has a neat design. This bolt hole is a little hard to get to, and you can see it actually has an open face. You can swing it in, so that's kind of neat. Might as well use it. Pretty nifty. Okay, now to test the fuel pump. Alright, I'm going to put a gallon or so into the fuel tank, and I opened the cap, and actually it smells fine. There's nothing weird in it. So that's a good sign. That hopefully is enough just to see. Need to wet the pickup, and then we're going to start her up and bottle feed her to hopefully get the vacuum going, which will actuate the fuel pump. It's a vacuum driven fuel pump, so there's a diaphragm. On one side there's engine vacuum, which pulses because it's single cylinder. The other side is the pumping side for the fuel. As it moves back and forth, there's check valves, which makes the pumping action. Hopefully we don't need to tear into it, but if we do, then we're going to see all that. Alrighty, here we go. Let me get the fuel bottle ready. Definitely have a bad connection. Oh, we got pumpage. Apparently it doesn't even need to start. I don't know why it's... Just barely got it over the hump before. Alright, let's see what we got in the specimen bottle. Now the garage is all smoky. Yuck. Semi-gaseous snow. I do see water collecting there at the bottom. Go focus. Maybe you can see it. It makes kind of a weird puddle-ish looking thing in there. So let's keep pumping a little bit more. I'm gonna open the garage. Got our dumped our collection bottle out. Let's see if we can get the stuff. I don't know why it's having trouble getting over the pump. Slightly less nasty. I don't know. Maybe we send her. Let's hook her up and... Well, I don't know. Maybe we should flesh it out a little bit more. There's still some watery looking stuff down in there. Pump seems to be working though, so that's pretty good. Yeah. There's still a fair bit of water in there. Let me see if there's a tank drain. If there is, that'd be good. You guys may not be able to see down in there very well. Kind of a tough angle. But trust me when I say it's not the greatest. That's a little gross in there. So let's just pull the tank. There's no drain from what I can tell. So we'll just pull it so that we can dump stuff out the mouth. Looks like it's just held in with a couple bolts here and there. So we'll pull those out and disconnect whatever connections for our fuel pump. Probably should have just checked what's in the tank before I put me in it, but whatever. $3 down the drain.
And theoretically, the only real connection onto our fuel pump is the vacuum line, because we already have the fuel feed disconnected from the carb. Okay, loose there. Ugh, this vacuum line is crispy. Oh wow, I think it actually has a bubble sender. So I guess we got to disconnect that too. Another bolt hole in this thing. Yes, there it is. It's actually a second one down here. There we are. You know, I think it's just using the fuel tank as a mount. Let's see if we can just pry it up. Yeah, it looks like that's the electronic ignition module. Alrighty. Let's go find something to dump this out into. Alright, I dumped the tank. That's what came out. You can see there's some interesting stuff in the bottom. Lots of water. So this is a perfect illustration of how water looks with gasoline. The gasoline's on top and the water's on the bottom because water is quite a bit heavier than gasoline. And then there's a second bottle. This was mostly all water, and then I ran another decent amount of gas through it, shook it around, and it came out pretty clear. So I think we'll run it as it is. There's a filter in there. We're just gonna leave it and see how it does. So we'll find out. I don't know if I have a replacement vacuum hose that's the right size. We'll find out. But yeah, this stuff is petrified. You guys probably can't see it. I got to reposition, but
Awesome. Well,
okay.
So you can see this was rubber at one point. Now it's kind of turned into like a hard plastic. So I'll see if I got the right size kicking around. Alright, so luckily I had some line kicking around that I was able to get over. It's a little smaller than the old line, but it'll work. And then this is the igniter box I was talking about. It just slots right into those brackets. We'll just leave it hanging. And I think we'll leave the bolts out for a second on the fuel tank just in case. But let's put another gallon in the fuel tank and get the engine spun over and see what comes out. Should be clear, maybe after a little bit of nastiness. Pump a little bit more through, dump this out. This is the smell of the exhaust. It smells exactly like what the Packard smells like, or smelled like right when I fired it up. I don't know if it's like ancient mouse nest or something in the exhaust. It's just weird. It kind of smells like burnt oil, but not really. I don't know. Yeah, it's looking enough like gas that I think we can reconnect and see if it'll run on its own. Let's cut that line back, actually. Sorry, I'm probably in your way. Alright, see what happens. See if it'll fire back up by itself. Like nothing. Man, this thing's mint. Alright, let's bolt the fuel tank back in and get some wheels on. The fuel tank, or fuel fill cover is missing, so we'll have to keep that in mind. If we store it outside, it needs to be covered there. That's how all the water got in the tank. I should have thought about that. But air cleaner needs to go on. I think we're gonna just delete on this for now, this foam. Obviously there's the gasket that's supposed to go there. There we go. Jeez. Okay, well that's good enough for now. Now I gotta figure out a battery situation. I don't have the right group size battery, but I do have a battery. I'm sure we can make it work. A little big. Oh, yeah, like a glove. Put our crappy terminal back on. Give her a quick clean. Also clean off where the ring terminal contacts the battery terminal. Good enough. Alright, let's see. Let's fire up. Yes, although maybe low on gas. Alright, I think we're about squared away under here. We still got to mend that one cable. We'll use a butt joint or whatever. It's not super critical. I mean, it's not like a car we're going to get stranded a mile or miles away. Farthest it's going to be is like a few hundred yards. Alright, so tires. Let's start on the rears because we don't have any. Alright, so here is one of our new wheels and tires. Surprisingly enough, it was actually cheaper to buy 4 new wheels and tires pre-mounted off Amazon than it was to buy 2 new wheels and tires and 2 unmounted tires, or any combination of that. So I went ahead and just got the whole set of 4 so I don't have to deal with remounting tires, and who knows how cracked those old rims are. Almost look too nice for the machine. Alright, I'm gonna go around and do all 4 and let's see if we can drive her out. Alrighty, I got her pushed out. Let's see how she runs up and down the driveway. Got her in forward. Here we go. Oh yeah. And see how she stops. Locks after the tires. How do I get the parking brake off? forget. Whoops. Let's see. I forget, it's been a while. Oh, when accelerator pedals pressed, I see. That's right. Surging a little bit. Might need to go through the carb. Tight turning radius. Yeah, full throttle, she bogs a little bit. It's surging a little bit. If I go off full throttle, it actually picks up. So we may need to go back through the carb, clean the main jet a little bit more. Hopefully it's not too windy. Yeah. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh, this thing is crazy. Turns so tight. It's like a sports car. You could seriously hurt yourself on one of these. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Woo! One-handed is it's a treat. Alright, well, it runs pretty good. I might go back to the carb. It feels like it's bogging a little bit, full throttle. But overall, I mean, geez, can't complain about that. Oh my gosh. That's just too much fun. Who needs a Miata when you got a golf cart? Throw a roll bar on this bad boy and take her to the track. Oh, we gotta try reverse. Hopefully this isn't too nausea-inducing. Alright, let's try to back in next to the Miata. Alrighty. Flip her over to reverse. That's got a reverse buzzer. Hear it whining? Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. Shaboogies. Oh, sweet. Alright, so I think we can call that a success. A couple small things I need to do. I'll crimp that wire together. And I may end up going back through the carb or playing with the adjustment a little bit, but it's pretty close. There probably will be a part 2 in this thing. We'll probably build a little utility bed on this so we can load it up with some stuff and maybe make it a dump bed so we can dump. So until next time, I'll see you later.